statement, then we'll open up for questions.
Yeah, want to know. It's always a good thing to be that. Thought we played really, really hard tonight. I thought our effort was very, very good. The execution, on the other hand, wasn't great. But we're finding that fine line between playing with pace and then understanding when it's not there. But obviously Coleman Hawkins can't shoot, never's been able to shoot, and proved you all wrong. But he was terrific. Got some pick and pop threes. He's that stretch five man that can do just that. Cause some stress. He can beat you off the bounce. He was tremendous early. We just kind of kept going to him, running the same little blur action. Then he obviously hits one in transition. But I thought we played, again, a little bit sped up, and that's hard to say when you want to play fast. We got to understand the difference between playing fast and execution. I give Eastern a lot of credit. Marty made a great adjustment. They started blurring all of their screens instead of setting them. Confused us a little bit with our switching. I thought we made the adjustment back in the second half and got it under control. But I think they had 15 points at half off the dribble. Okay, 12 of those came late clock, and a lot of our possessions we found out through our secret scrimmage and our exhibition, we get a lot of late clock possessions. We got to guard the ball, and that's one of the areas we've got to do a better job at. But overall, I thought Sincere Harris came in. I have tremendous admiration for how hard he plays, and it's amazing how the game finds you. It just comes easy when you play hard. Good things happen to you when you do that, and he does that. He's done that in every one of his opportunities that we've had to this point. But Ty was great. Just got to make a free throw. 8, 9 rebounds and impacts the game. And we've got great play out of Dane. I challenged Dane today, get 10 rebounds. And man, he pursued it, he chased it. We forget Dane hasn't played, and he's a couple years out from playing games, and gave me a lot of confidence tonight. He was terrific, and we did a very good job of finding him in opportunities in the second half to be effective. But all in all, it's film. It's game one. There's a lot of mistakes. It's never real pretty. We'll take the outcome and wish Marty and that group, they're going to have a great year. I like their team a lot, and we'll get ready for UMKC on Friday.
Coach, that big rebound margin and 9 blocked shots, that seems like a positive step for a team that's not rolling out a 7-footer this year. Do you see that way? Yeah,
what's the number here? I don't have my readers with me. Dane had 17, Coleman had 23, that's 50, and 22 rebounds. We missed Kofi, right? Pretty good numbers from that spot. Pretty good numbers. A lot of ways to get them. I thought our offensive rebounding was impactful. We had, again, 20 offensive rebounds tonight on 34 misses. So yeah, I mean that's a big time number. We try to get 40% back, but I thought we forced them into some hard shots. I thought in the second half we took them out of rhythm, and then we cleaned it up. We gave them one shot, and then we were able to get out and run.
Right. The second half, you're really the pressure defensively you put on them full court. Actually, same in the exhibition too. Is it an adjustment that you're making, or is that just wearing down them over time over the 40 minutes?
I hope it's fatigue. I hope it's that. We mix it up, whether we want to run and jump or whether we want to stay straight. We get Sincere in the game. We like him on the ball a lot. We don't need disruption. We don't need to try to get a steal. We like disruption. I think we had a 10-second count. Maybe could have had one or two others. they threw it to us once or twice, and that's all we need. And you know, we want a short clock, and Marty runs as good offense as anybody in the country. You let him start running his motion and his staggers, and we wanted to take that away from him. And I thought the same thing in the Quincy game. We took them out of their actions and wore them out, and made it a little more challenging.
Andy?
And with Coleman, when did you kind of see that shot making ability from him, and how has he kind of improved over that area over the offseason?
In the recruiting process. That's one of the reasons we recruited him, was he could really shoot it. You know, I thought he had the ability to play 3, 4, or 5 when we recruited him. You know, I don't know the reason last year. It was bizarre, because he made him in practice, and now he's confident, now he's comfortable. That thing looks as pretty as any jump shot out there when it comes off his hand. He's a terrific shooter. He does that every day, and he's a ton to handle, because he's an elite passer, and he can beat you off the deck with it. So you know, he becomes a challenge at that spot.
Terrence drew 9 fouls tonight. Obviously, got to the line. What was it in the process of looking at him that you thought you could maybe unlock that part of his game as well?
Well, he's fast, and he's 220 pounds, 6'6", 6'7", going downhill with speed, and he's relentless. He's not afraid to stick his nose in there. He's not afraid to take contact. He wants to go to the line. In our little secret scrimmage, he was 16 of 19. It's what he does, and you know, he's got to find that balance. He's still got to continue to grow in terms of decision making. You know, a couple early turnovers. You know, he's got to read that situation better. But that's a fine line with him, because we want him doing that a lot. He puts a lot of pressure. We live in the paint, and it's one of the things that I think is a plus for this team.
Coach, you spoke about it multiple times in the preseason, how, you know, in recent years you could wake up every day and you know Kofi was going to give you, 23 and 11, night in, night out. Do you feel like what you saw out of Coleman tonight, that he can kind of fit that mold, and you can wake up thinking that as well this year?
I'm going to wake up every day knowing Coleman's one of the best players in this league. I don't know how he affects the game in so many different ways with his passing. He's going to have a night where he has 5 to 7, 8 assists. He's going to be a guy that you know, has nights where we'll sprint him out of lobs, because he's a great lob catcher and pick and rolls. He's got a total package, and he'll impact winning in a lot of different ways, not just points. And that's what I like about him. And I think, you know, and again, I think Terrence is a guy that's going to be, you know, he's going to have his opportunities to be, you know, in that same kind of category. And you know, as Matt continues to get in better shape and make shots, you know, he's a guy again that can really get it going. Same with RJ. RJ's pressing a little bit. We got to get him, you know, just relaxed and comfortable, because we know he's a really, really good shooter. So we'll get there.
Coach, what does it mean to you to get the season started, not just with a new crew, with the freshmen, but getting the veterans to knowing how they play?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it many times. I'm still trying to figure this team out. I figure out who they are, trying to get to know them. You know, it's a little bit of a different feel for me, because, like I said, I don't have Coleman, I don't have Kofi, I don't have Trent, I don't have DeMonte. You know, you don't have those guys back, and you know, so these guys coming out gave me a lot of confidence tonight, and you know, we've got to lean on veterans. You know, freshmen, it's really hard to be spectacular from the get-go. And Sky and Jaden and Ty and Sincere are all really, really talented, but they're all going to have some ups and downs. And we can't forget that Kofi had them, Io had them, Trent had them, and we've got to help these guys grow.
Derek?
Coach, how does Coleman's floor spacing with Terrence's downhill ability complement each other and benefit both sides of that?
Yeah, I like them in a lot of two-man actions. You know, and I think that Terrence has proven to be a very, very good decision maker in ball screens. I've been really impressed with his passing, his playmaking out of those. That'll be something that as time goes, we'll get to a lot more. And then again, Coleman is just instinctive and knows when to roll, knows when to pop. As soon as he feels two coming, he's right back into a dribble handoff, flipping it around. So those two can be really, really good together. They can be hard to handle.
Matt?
Brad, when you have a player like Ty who clearly doesn't need the ball or need to score to feel like he has a good night, I'm wondering what that does for the other four guys on the floor who are playing with him.
Gives them a lot of confidence, knowing that there's a guy who's doing all the other stuff. And I've said this many times with Ty, he impacts winning at a really, really high level, and he doesn't need to shoot the basketball. He doesn't need to score it. And yet he's very, very good in post-ups. He's got a great floater. And again, those are things we want him to shoot. He's leads us in rebounding just about every day. This isn't a coincidence. He does that every single day. So I'm excited about him.
Right.
Hey, Coach.
You're up. You're up. Yep.
Okay. Hey, Coach. So I saw where Sincere earned a fist bump from you for forcing another turnover tonight. What has impressed you the most about him since he's been on campus?
Plays hard. He is the unbelievable, unrelenting competitor. And I have tremendous appreciation for that. Is he going to do something that wows you? Yes, both ways. But man, he's got great feel. He's got great instincts on the court. Just simple things. He had two drives in the paint where he shot the ball right-handed. He's left-handed, and he jump stopped. We've been working on that forever. You got to jump stop in the paint. It's really hard to go in there off one foot. And yet we saw that when he does, almost a big-time dunk. How twitchy he is and how athletic he is, but he just plays hard. And I have a great appreciation for all of that.
Jeremy?
Brad, you mentioned Matt didn't play the last 15 minutes. What was the reason behind that?
Yeah, just the game. It was just more about, it's getting guys in, getting guys. We had a comfortable lead. Matt's a veteran, and we still got to find him a rhythm. He's still trying to, figure out how to play within what we're doing. But no reason other than just kind of the game.
Gavin?
Brad, what's the bigger area to improve on, free throws or turnovers?
Both. Can't win with that. Can't win big games doing both of those poorly. I know we're going to turn the ball over a little bit with pace. I don't know our total number of possessions tonight. Sky had a tough night. He had 5. Silly ones. Ty outletting the ball in the middle third of the floor. Trying to throw it up the court in transition. That's something big no-no. Just things that we'll clean some of those up. It's those are the growing pains. We turned it over a lot early last year as well, and guys got to get in and guys got to get comfortable. It's a different vibe shooting free throws in practice than shooting them with the bright lights and 15,000 fans, and you got a different anxiety, a different adrenaline. So they'll get accustomed to that.
Scott?
Did some of those just kind of super athletic plays that the guys made and made the potential for more, is that matching up with what you thought this team could be when you were piecing together the roster?
Yeah, I don't get overly. I get wowed by athleticism. I like it. Don't get me wrong, but we still got to play the game the right way. So yeah, we're gonna make some plays, and we've seen a lot in practice, and that's fun. It's nice to see that. But again, sometimes solid and just being fundamental and making the simple play on a pick and roll to a shake. I got on Jaden at the end of the game, and he's wide open off a shake and he turns it down. That's a shot he makes 9 out of 10 times in practice. And so we are athletic, yes. That's why we're trying to play with a little bit of pace and doing what we're doing defensively. We got length. The block shots show that. But again, we've still got to be able to play athletic and fundamentally sound in terms of execution.
We'll go Doug in the back.
Coach, Sky Clark, he seems to be focusing on executing off, running off, and he's also a good offensive player. Are there times where you're going to tell him to go get a bucket, and how do you kind of balance that between playmaking and scoring?
Well, I'm not telling him not to be aggressive, and he's got to find that. He's got to figure that out in his own head. He's got to figure out what he can and can't do, and you know, that's the one thing with he and Jaden. They're both very gifted scorers. They know how to score the basketball. They're trying very hard to be great lead guards, but you have to be you. You know, Trent was a guy that, you know, was a freshman, was an elite scorer. You know, and he still became that guy that became an elite lead guard. And you got to know when you get your opportunities, you've got to take them. And we want them aggressive. That's what they do. They live in the paint, and they can make shots. And they'll grow with that.
Back to the left.
What kind of difference does Dane Danger make coming off the bench this season instead of some heavy guy like that starting your starting five?
Yeah, 6'10", 260. You know, with a 7'4" wingspan, and he's got balance. He's really skilled. You know, we've got to get him hunting the paint a little more. But yeah, that's a post presence that is completely different than what Coleman gives us. And a guy that we're going to line up and throw the ball to, you know, on the block. And you know, we've seen that he can really score. He's quick. He uses either hand. You know, probably uses his left hand as well as if not better than his right. But he's a nice addition. That's a spark I like off the bench. All of you guys know that I like bringing production off the bench, and you know, you bring he and Ty Rogers and Jaden Epps and Sincere off the bench, you're bringing in some firepower.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.